Coming up, property taxes are due, but where's the bill? Car insurance rates on the rise in Illinois. Remembering Ryne Sandberg. Plus, Fiesta del Sol organizers ask ICE to stay away. Lou gets an exclusive with the GOAT, Tom Brady. And a new movie about the real professional wrestling. This is your Fox 32 Week in Review.
Consensus from every Cook County official is we just don't know. You know, it's hard to pay your bills when you don't even know what you owe. They haven't gone out, as you said. The culprit, according to those officials, technology problems. Specifically, the county is years behind on a contract with a company called Tyler Technologies to modernize the tax system. But officials say the contract is rife with problems. There have been so many mistakes, and that's the reason those bills have yet to go out.
There's just a number of mistakes that were made that have to be tested on the county side. A user has to go through that to make sure that all the calculations are complete, that the numbers are complete, that the bills that are going out are the bills that should be issued to those people. And so if the bills are wrong, that means somebody's being asked to pay a certain amount of money that they're not due and owing. So either way increased or way decreased. So the bills have to be complete and proper according to state law, and we need a system that will deliver that.
This contract was inked with the county in 2015. It was supposed to take about 3 to 5 years to implement. Here we are 10 years later. Now the Chicago Tribune has investigated this. The problems have gone on for those years. The county tried to fire Tyler Technologies, but Degnan says the penalties that the county would receive pale in comparison to the cost to just cut bait and overhaul the system again. Now, a spokesperson for Tyler Technologies offered this statement, quote, "We continue to fully support Cook County as they move forward with the full system implementation." The company goes on to explain that this is a very big county. It's a complex process. They got to get the Cook County assessor. They have to get the clerk. They have to get the treasurer's office all on board with this new system. It's a long way of saying they still don't know when those installments are going to go out. So obviously the bills aren't due August 1st if you don't know when you're going to actually get them. More to come on that, Dawn.
The Secretary of State says insurance companies use a number of factors to determine how much you pay out of pocket for the premium. That includes your credit score, where you live, and how old you are. And once you factor in race, the rates are disproportionate. Auto insurance rates are up across the country, but in Illinois, they're rising faster than most. A new report shows premiums jumped 18% in 2024 alone, with another 4% hike expected this year. The average cost of full coverage now over $2,000 a year. And here's where people are raising eyebrows. Illinois is one of just 2 states, along with Wyoming, that does not require insurance companies to submit rate increases for review. A 2023 report revealed a troubling gap. Safe Illinois drivers with excellent credit paid $424 a year on average, but safe drivers with poor credit, they paid more than double.
In fact, an Illinois driver with good credit and a DUI will get a lower premium than a driver with poor credit and no DUI. Safe drivers with poor credit score pay a whopping $850 more annually than a driver with a DUI that has excellent credit. And when you factor in where you live, it gets even worse. Illinoisans living in predominantly minority zip codes pay at least 10 times more than those living in non-minority zip codes.
Now, the Illinois Insurance Association, American Property Casualty Insurance Association, and the National Association of Mutual Insurance Companies are responding with this joint statement. Here's some of what they have to say. Our top priority is preserving Illinois' competitive insurance marketplace that keeps Illinois rates low. We oppose efforts to limit the actuarial process that has driven companies out of other large states and led to increased premiums for the majority of policyholders. Insurers are not permitted to use and do not use factors like race, income, religion, and or ethnicity in setting rates. Now, over the next several weeks, the Secretary of State's office is conducting a series of town hall meetings to gather input and help inform legislation that will be filed in the next General Assembly session. Locations and times of those town hall meetings will be posted on ilsos.gov/drivingchange. The first meeting will happen at Bright Star Church on Chicago's South Side, August 20th.
The suspect's a 76-year-old man from Stillman Valley that's just outside Rockford. He was at a wedding in Schaumburg, and police say he shot his daughter-in-law right outside the hotel. Roland Schmidt was subdued and held on the scene until Schaumburg police arrived at the Marriott on Martingale Road Friday night. Police say Schmidt and his daughter-in-law, 45-year-old Christine Moyer of Galena, Ohio, attended the wedding, and when she walked out of the hotel about 10:15, he shot her right outside the entry doors. Hotel guests heard it from inside, and police were called.
Ambulance 52, Battalion 5, Engine 52, Truck 52, you're responding to the shots fired with injuries at 50 North Martingale Road, the Marriott Hotel. He'll be in the parking lot for a female who was shot in the eye, is not conscious, as agonal breathing.
Police say the suspect was upset with his daughter-in-law because she was filing for divorce from his son. Police did recover a weapon there at the hotel. The hearing today to determine whether Schmidt should remain in custody.
Illinois just changed 2 big gun laws. Governor Pritzker signed them today, and they start right away. Terrence is back to explain how they affect you.
Yeah, Dawn, one law says guns cannot be left out if kids or people who shouldn't have them are around. Owners now have 48 hours to report a gun that's lost or stolen, not 72. The other law makes every police department use a national system to trace crime guns. It's designed to help police find out where guns come from and catch illegal traffickers faster. State leaders say these changes matter because they can stop tragedies.
If we can prevent even one death or accident through these measures, they will have been more than worth it.
And there are those who say that, oh, there are too many gun laws on the book. But we have an unsolved problem out there that are killing children.
We have more specifics about the bills on Fox32Chicago.com. Supporters say these changes will make homes and police work safer. Critics argue Illinois already has strict gun laws and say these won't fix the root of violence.
Ryne Sandberg was never a big talker, so it's only right his family, friends, teammates, and fans today do all the talking about the Cubs legend who played the game of baseball as a Hall of Famer. But his qualities as a person, they were at an even higher level. On the field, June 23rd, 1984, that will forever go down in history as the Sandberg game. Cubs taking on the Cardinals on NBC's Game of the Week. He hit 2 home runs, tying home runs in the 9th and 10th innings off a premier closer, future Hall of Famer, former Cub Bruce Sutter. The Cubs going on to win in 11 innings, 12-11, helping elevate Sandberg to stardom. Sandberg was named National League MVP in 1984. His breakout season was in many ways his best ever. Besides hitting a career-high .314 and reaching the 200-hit mark, the only time in his career that happened, Sandberg topped the major leagues with 19 triples, 13 at quaint Wrigley Field. That's really tough. And he scored a National League best 114 runs, winning the MVP by a landslide. Sandberg was truly a 5-tool player. The guy won 9 straight National League Gold Gloves at second base, even set a then Major League record with 123 consecutive errorless games. Sandberg said, hey, bring your glove every single day. You might go into some hitting slumps, but he wanted to play defense every day for the pitcher, for everyone on the field. It's the reason why Sandberg's statue outside of Wrigley Field has Rhino in a slight defensive crouch awaiting the next pitch. He chose to be remembered for his glove instead of his bat. 1990, Rhino smacked 40 home runs that season, became the first National League second baseman to win a home run title since the Cardinals' Rogers Hornsby in 1925. Sandberg also won the 1990 Home Run Derby at Wrigley Field. And then in 2005, Rhino got the call to the Hall, joining baseball's greats. He also had his number 23 jersey retired at Wrigley Field on August 28th, became the 4th Cub to receive this honor at the time, and then on the 40th anniversary of the Sandberg game against the Cardinals, the Cubs unveiled a statue of Sandberg outside of Wrigley Field. He's the 6th person to have a statue built at Wrigley, along with Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Fergie Jenkins, and former announcer Harry Carey. Earlier today, I caught up with former Yankees and Marlins manager Joe Girardi, who was also a teammate of Sandberg's with the Cubs.
I was a huge fan before I ever got a chance to play for him, because I grew up a huge Cubs fan, and in 1984, you think about the year that he had, and who hits 19 triples? I mean, he was so athletic, he was so graceful. And then the 4 years I got to play with him from, 1989 to 1992, I mean, this man averaged 30 homers and 91 RBIs as a second baseman, and that was unheard of, plus like 25 stolen bases. So I got to see the best of Ryno, and he was such a great teammate. And what I remember about Ryno is that he never gave an at-bat away. He never gave a ground ball away. He never gave anything away. He always had that quiet intensity and expected so much from himself, and it wore off on the rest of his teammates.
It's terribly sad. It's a cliche when you say that, yes, someone was great at what they did, but they were also a wonderful person. And sometimes that's only partially true. Ryne Sandberg was a heck of a good guy. And it's just heartbreaking that his life should be cut short this way.
I promise you, man, there are a lot of people shedding tears today because he was just that guy. They say don't meet your heroes. Sometimes when you do, you get rewarded. And that dude was a hero. He was amazing.
And right now, board members are still in closed session. A couple hundred people attended tonight's meeting. Parents tell us they are questioning the transparency of the board when it comes to hiring the new assistant principal at Century Junior High. They are also concerned about his experience and a resurfaced social media post.
We're demanding that you reconsider your decision.
Tremaine Harris previously taught math at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy, a CPS school on the city's south side, and according to Teach Plus, was a Golden Apple Scholar before he was just recently hired as the assistant principal of Century Junior High. But a group of parents whose kids attend Orland School District 135's Century School are calling his experience and a resurfaced social media post into question. A job posting for the assistant principal role shows that at least 5 years teaching experience is required. Harris is 26 years old and, according to LinkedIn, graduated from U of I in 2021. His experience level is raising a red flag for parents who spoke out tonight. They tell us they are also fired up by an Instagram post, which has since been taken down, that shows Harris posing in a cowboy hat with a caption that reads, "It should have cost $1 billion to look this expletive." Lyrics from a Beyonce song. Some community members feel the post, which they say was shared on a public account, is inappropriate coming from an administrator.
It has more to do with how the district has done it, right? It has more to do with how the process has unfolded, right? How do we go from 17 years of experience to simply none, as an individual in this meeting has talked about? He recently just got his license to be an administrator January 27th of 2025.
If you look at the other two assistant principals hired for the other two junior highs in Orland Park, that being Jurling School and that being Orland Junior High, the individuals hired at those schools had more than 15 years of experience and advanced degrees.
Now, we reached out to the superintendent, the associate superintendent, and the director of the HR department for comment, but did not immediately hear back. None of them were in tonight's meeting. At the same time, we have reached out to Assistant Principal Harris, but have not received a response.
Coming up, worries about ICE agents at Fiesta del Sol this weekend. Evaluating Caleb Williams' progress in training camp. And a couple steals a dog from a shelter.
Terrence Lee has more. They're asking ICE to stay away.
Yeah, more than 1 million people are expected to be in town for Fiesta del Sol, but It could be a lot less. Organizers say that's because people are scared to go. Their fear stems from the Trump administration's recent raids, not just around the country, but right here in Chicago. Also stoking fear is an incident that happened earlier this month. Agents from Homeland Security showed up unannounced at a local Puerto Rican center just days before the museum hosted a festival. Organizers are now asking federal agencies to leave community spaces alone.
We want to stand together and support, and instead of canceling or just being in fear and stopping these important celebrations, it's important for us to stand together and to denounce ICE for coming into these spaces or threatening to come into these spaces that should be safe.
The festival runs Thursday to Sunday. Organizers say they have already taken proactive steps. Vendors and volunteers were provided training sessions, and Know Your Right flyers as well will be handed out to everyone who goes to the fest.
Durbin sent this letter to the Justice Department today in his role as senior Democrat on the powerful Senate Judiciary Committee. He says something about that meeting late last week between senior DOJ official Todd Blanche and Maxwell doesn't smell right to him. And now he's calling on the department to release any transcripts, recordings, or notes about what exactly was discussed at that meeting. Quote, given Maxwell's documented record of lying and her desire to secure early release, there are serious concerns that Ms. Maxwell may provide false information or selectively withhold information in return for a pardon or sentence commutation. Durbin goes on to cite, quote, the potential for a corrupt bargain between the Trump administration and Ghislaine Maxwell and the impact this would have on the victims and survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's and Ms. Maxwell's horrific abuses. Now, Durbin has also claimed the Justice Department is sitting on a file of all the times Trump is mentioned in the Epstein documents. There are various media reports that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi warned President Trump that his name is indeed in those documents. Meanwhile, Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence for her role in the Epstein scandal. Trump has not ruled out a pardon. He did run on releasing these files before an unexplained reversal. Today in Scotland, the president made wild and unsubstantiated claims about them.
The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony.
Now, there's no evidence to support Trump's claims there. Durbin is calling on the DOJ to release the purported files that contain mentions of Trump. Dawn.
Caleb Williams has a long way to go before he satisfies his head coach, Ben Johnson, but the coach right now seeing growth from his quarterback. He's working with Williams as if he's a rookie, and the quarterback is doing the work behind the scenes. Cassie Carlson with the story at Hallis Hall.
After a week of practices, Caleb Williams says he feels like the offense is operating pretty smoothly. Now the next step is getting to a point where they can play off of instinct.
They've installed a lot OTAs now, and they're just seeing how much I can retain, and I take pride in trying to retain it all, every single detail that we have, and I think that's where I've been growing so far.
After struggling to get lined up properly the first practice, Ben Johnson and Williams have noticed the progress in pre-snap procedure and how they want to operate quickly.
It adds a sense of what our mentality is: getting out the huddle, getting on the ball, and we're going to attack you. So that's the first part. The next part is getting out there, lining up with that mentality, and then after that, it gives the center, it gives me, it gives the tackle, it gives the wide receiver to be able to see the technique.
The defense taking notice of how the offense is challenging them while becoming more familiar with Dennis Allen's scheme at the same time.
Just his whole demeanor, is nasty. We're going to dominate. That's what it is. And you feel that when he talk, you feel that the way that he coach, you feel that the way that we practice out there. And as a competitor, it just make you like, yeah, let's do this.
Here's what my job is. My job is to put the best freaking defense on the field. And so I'm not really focused a lot on what we're seeing offensively or how they're doing things offensively. Obviously, the National Football League is a highly, highly competitive league. So every day that we go out there, we're always competing.
Dennis Allen also said the #2 corner spot opposite of Jalen Johnson is completely up for grabs. And he said the best thing to do is just let the tape make the decision, seeing a bunch of new players getting a chance to run with the ones today. Braxton Jones had a scheduled rest day, and Jonah Jackson is considered day-to-day with a leg injury.
Call it the case of the pilfered puppy. Leaders here at the Anti-Cruelty Society sounding the alarm after one of their four-legged friends disappears under mysterious circumstances.
So at this point, we consider this animal stolen.
Anti-Cruelty Society President Darlene Duggan says a young couple walked into their River North shelter just before closing time Sunday evening to look at some of the dogs available for adoption, and immediately took an interest in this little guy, an 8-week-old dachshund named Peter.
He's an adorable little Dachshund mix. So he is long and he has short little adorable legs. He's 8 weeks old, so he has a lot of energy and exuberance.
Anti-cruelty surveillance cameras captured the couple's visit, including the dog napping.
They signed in, took a dog out with one of our volunteers. They were introducing it, getting to know it in the courtyard, considering adoption. And we have them on camera leaving the shelter before they were able to put in an adoption application, and leaving the shelter with the dog in hand.
Duggan says she suspects the couple may not have wanted to pay the $300 adoption fee. But she says by stealing the puppy, they're potentially putting it in danger.
We have procedures in place where we do applications. We talk through the implications of introducing a new family member into the home. We go through vaccine records, medical care, expected things for the animal like feeding and veterinary care.
Then late this afternoon, a happy ending to this dog's tale.
So what just happened is that Peter made his way back to the shelter. So we're so grateful.
The young couple returned Peter to the shelter and quickly left without explanation. As far as anti-cruelty is concerned, it's no harm, no foul, and no police charges.
We sent him back up to our vet team. They gave him a quick once-over. Everything looks to be in good working order. So he's available and ready for adoption again.
This canine caper comes at a time when shelters across the Chicago area are busting at the seams. A good reminder to the public, now's a perfect time to adopt. Just make sure you do it legally.
Hi, my name is Jason Crisp, and I'm the Director of Operations here at Weber. We are in Huntley, Illinois, where our main manufacturing plant resides. The facility is about 644,000 square feet of manufacturing space. Today we're going to take a look at our 22-inch original kettle and basically how it's made from the point that it comes in as a flat blank all the way through the packaging process and out the door. So the first step here is the draw, where the blanks are robotically fed into the stamping press, where the first operation actually forms the bowl into the desired shape. The next step of the operation is called the beading process, where we take the excess material left over from the trim and roll the edge over into a nice bead. From there, we will go into the pierce operation, where the damper holes are pierced into the bottom of the bowl. The final operation is our welding operation, where the bowls are placed into the welding fixtures, where we place the handles, the leg couplings, and the grill straps in, all to be welded to the bowl. The main kettle we run in bowl and lid sets because that's how we pack them. So you will see on the line there is a lid and then a bowl throughout the process. Right now we are in the enamel powder room, where the parts are entering the powder booth. The parts will actually coming out looking like they are gray, and as they go through the furnace at 1530 degrees, they will actually end up as a black unit. So we are now in our enamel wet spray color area, where we turn all of our normal black kettles into color kettles. Let's take a look at how that's done. The product is placed on a spindle, which will then rotate as the sprayer applies a nice even coat of color enamel. It actually goes on in a wet form and then will instantly dry, and then it is hung onto the furnace conveyor to go through the curing process one more time. The parts now are headed back off through the furnace. They will have to be sent back to be refired, as we have just put a second layer of porcelain enamel on them. So Weber was founded in 1952 by George Stephen. The story goes he was doing a bit of entertaining at his place over a brick oven, and the food didn't come out quite the way everybody wished it would have. So he thought to himself, there's got to be a better way to do this, and then hence the Weber Stephen had started. George Stephen was working at a company called Weber Metal Works, where they manufactured metal buoys. So George tried to figure out a way how to make a really good charcoal kettle out of it. So he started tinkering with it, and that's kind of how the original kettle was born, out of a metal buoy. We are Chicago-based. We also have a plant in Zabrze, Poland, and with some affiliates also over in Asia as well. So now that the parts have come out of the oven, it's time for us to take a final inspection look at them and get the parts ready for the packaging team to go ahead and put them in cartons. Today we're packaging the 22-inch original kettle. That's what's currently flowing down our line right now. As the cartons travel down the line, components are strategically placed inside of the carton. Right now, our team is assembling and installing the bowl damper blade to the bowl. Several of our folks here have a lot of long-term work history here, and a lot of these folks have worked at multiple locations throughout the Weber business. Several generations in some cases. We have folks here that have upward of 45 to 50 years of seniority with the company. All throughout the process, we have different vision systems and scales to help validate and verify that we have placed every component inside of each carton. We are a seasonal business, but we'll average between 6,000 and 9,000 kettles manufactured per day, or between 1 and 1.5 million kettles annually. As the finished boxes come down the assembly line here, they will travel over to our stacking machines, which we will stack them up, stretch wrap them, and load them in a truck and send them on their way. This is where everything wraps up. Again, what we saw earlier is a flat blank of steel to a finished product. Typically, we're working 4 to 6 months out, again, so we can go ahead and manufacture them and get them into warehouses ready for the spring and summer sales. Over the years, not a whole lot has changed with our original kettle as it originated in 1952. There's been some upgrades and some modifications to it, but the ease and simplicity of operation and just the pure enjoyment you get out of it with family and friends, and what a great meal you get to share with everybody. We've been making these since 1952. They have withstood the test of time. Weber is a legendary product. You know, anywhere you go, anybody that you talk to either has one or their family members have one. Certainly is an iconic brand, been around for a really, really long time, and people really, really enjoy cooking and enjoying other company with our products.
Coming up, our exclusive interview with Tom Brady in Chicago. Day one of Lollapalooza. And a couple claims they were scammed out of $180K for their wedding.
You might recognize this famous athlete paying a visit to our town. That is, of course, Tom Brady. Our Lou Canellis joining us now. He spoke with him on what he's doing in the Windy City in an exclusive for us. Lou.
It's always good to see TB12, Scott. Tom Brady is a passionate trading card collector. Yeah, he's been since he was a kid in Northern California. Now he's turned his passion, that is, into a business, becoming part owner of the Card Vault by Tom Brady. Now, the Card Vault by Tom Brady had its opening tonight. It's across the street from Wrigley Field. A bunch of the Cubs were there, Justin Turner, Kyle Tucker. I also stopped by and talked to Brady exclusively right here on Fox.
All right, so the Bears make a lot of changes. How's Caleb going to adapt to this?
Am I already breaking down Chicago Bear football?
We need you to.
They got a few weeks before I actually cover them. I'm coming back in week 3.
What kind of an effect can a guy like Ben Johnson have immediately on a roster?
Well, he's obviously had a very good career, and now he's taken a step up in his own way too to be a head coach. So that's the exciting part about the NFL season. It's not about the predictions I can make. You know, it's going to be about their hard work, their commitment every day to one another to see what they can make of the season.
I know that you and Caleb spent some time before in the past. If he asked you for advice going into this second season, what would you tell him?
Yeah, you know, he and I have a good relationship. So I'm always available to everybody. You know, I want to see all these other guys succeed. And I was very fortunate early in my career. I had so many people that had a positive impact on me, and whenever I can be that for other people, I am.
Was there anything that you saw on the field where you'd like to see him get better at?
He does a lot of things really well. I mean, I think Ben's going to help him a lot, and it's a great offensive system he'll be in. Now it's just about them really getting on the same page and really getting in tune with Caleb's strengths and weaknesses and try to, you know, obviously mitigate the weaknesses and then, you know, propagate the strengths.
All right, let me ask you. You're behind the card vault.
Yeah, you like it?
How did you get behind this?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, I've been in the hobby for almost 40 years. So the fact that we're opening right across from Wrigley Field is really special. It's a great turnout. We got a lot of guys here, and it's a pretty great day.
You remember being a kid ripping open a pack of
That's all I
cards?
did my entire childhood.
Looking for that Montana card, right?
Every dollar I ever made from my paper route, my $2.50 paper route, went to my card collecting hobby, and I still got all the cards.
He's not making $2.50 anymore, right? Brady's idol that is growing up was Joe Montana. By the way, he recently purchased his own rookie card from a store in Japan, and he bought a $250,000 LeBron James trading card. By the way, they open up tomorrow at 10 a.m. before the Cubs play the Orioles at Wrigley, and there will be giveaways, I'm told. So if you're going out to the game, make sure you stop by the card vault.
He's also got a stake. I was watching Welcome to Wrexham. He's got a stake in a soccer club over in Europe. I mean, he's so prolific.
Well, he's got so many businesses going on right now. That's why I caught him off guard when I asked him to break down the Bears. He said, not yet. They just started camp. I haven't really dug in yet.
Great answer. And he's holding on to his looks. Nice to see as well. All right. Well, of course, Lolla is back, and it's turning up the volume like never before. 170 artists across some 8 stages. They'll captivate the crowds all weekend long. Our Casey Cronus is live near Grant Park, where the party is in full swing. Casey.
That it is, Scott. Luke Combs is on one stage, while Tyler, the Creator, will be coming out any moment on another. The energy, the outfits, the food, and the fun. This is what Lolla fans have been waiting for since they left these grounds last summer. It's the rush that won't hit pause until Sunday night.
Stage hopping.
Electrolytes. It's hot. This is our 4th Lollapalooza in a row.
Lollapalooza is welcoming roughly 100,000 music fans to Grant Park each day, and that is exactly what brings people back every summer.
The people bring the vibe. Everyone comes from out of town. It's a beautiful experience.
The Wilds, who are visiting from Milwaukee, haven't missed a beat in years.
During COVID, we sat on the couch. We were watching these kids going to these festivals, and we were like, they're having the time of their lives. When this is over, we're going to go do that.
We keep an eye on the kids, but we're not actually in charge.
Headlining the 4-day music bash, Tyler, the Creator, Luke Combs, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, A$AP Rocky, and more.
Oh, I want to see everyone. I have a very eclectic taste in music.
And festival goers came prepared.
Well, you definitely need your hydration pack. This is a must.
But we wouldn't expect anything less.
Bandana, sanitizer, hand wipes, and a bunch of t-shirts actually, because if it gets really hot. And most importantly for the photos, the disposable camera, which I really love.
You can't bring like chairs in, and so we got these little thingies that you like just sit on, and they're so nice because then you don't make your outfit dirty.
Between clear bags, fans, and fancy fit checks, Lolla goers came ready for the heat and the hype.
Making new friends, making new memories, and just being in a new city.
I really haven't ever been to the city of Chicago, so I took it as a really good experience to travel a bit, and I've heard a lot of great things about the food and just overall experience here.
Many fans come up with a game plan before getting inside, including a mission to stake out a spot near the stage.
As close as possible. I know there's a lot of people, but we're gonna move our way up there.
Barricade all the way. I'm here for the barricade.
Up close and personal, and loving every minute.
Lolla is all about like meeting new people, hanging out with a lot of people, and like just mixing cultures and everything. So it's really nice.
The gates open at 11 a.m. and close at 10 p.m. each night. Now, in addition to all the fans, you will also see a big police presence in and around Grant Park, helping to keep everyone safe. If you do have to travel through the loop over the next several days, try to avoid the area immediately surrounding Grant Park, as you will be stuck in traffic.
I still find myself in shock sometimes. You can never think it could be you until it actually happens.
It was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. Instead, a Chicago couple ended up with heartbreak, empty pockets, and a police report. A local travel agent that they trusted to plan their dream destination wedding is now at the center of a growing investigation. Our Tia Ewing went digging, and what she found raises red flags for anybody booking travel online.
Are you heartbroken? Very. Devastated. It's tough.
Iris Smith, Detrick Vaughn, and their two daughters, the Flower Girls, sit together surrounded by wedding favors marked with a date that now brings more pain than joy, July 19th.
The dates on all of this stuff won't match. Yeah. What do you do? Just keep it? Pass it out still? Have you thought about it? I think passing it out still, everybody kind of knows what happened, so it's unfortunate.
Their big day was meant to be in Mexico with 75 guests and memories to last a lifetime. But instead, they're in Chicago filing a police report and picking up the pieces.
When we calculated everything, over $180K.
Letitia Douglas is the owner of Fly Girl World Travel. Iris and Detrick say Douglas was helping with the couple's destination wedding, booking rooms and travel. The way it worked, guests would RSVP through her site that's now down and then pay on the trip. The family believes Douglas funneled $180,000 to herself. That total included them, their children, and all of the wedding goers.
The link she was having, it was going to her bank account. Some people had the same bank account as her.
I had been trying to contact her for days and she hadn't responded.
Someone emailed this response to Iris that Letitia Douglas was in the hospital and had this unknown person, quote, reach out to you guys regarding your trip as she is unable to complete her duties. Please dispute the charges with your bank ASAP and you will get a refund, as her company has something set up in case something like this occurs. Once your money has been refunded, you can rebook your rooms.
It had 39 rooms on it, and the rooming list that the resort sent us had less than 12.
98% of wedding goers didn't get a refund, and the wedding didn't happen. Fox 32 received multiple receipts from the couple and guests confirming that thousands of dollars were spent to secure the trip. The trouble for the travel agent goes beyond the Vaughn's wedding. The Better Business Bureau has received 5 complaints. One consumer hoped to travel to Jamaica, paid $2,300, but by July 3rd, they found no reservation existed. Another paid monthly installments for a trip to Egypt, totaling over $3,900. Then Douglas vanished. Even her website was removed. The account for the site was suspended. You can still see Letitia Douglas's photo is associated with the site. That's when Fox 32 buckled up and went looking for her, hoping for more answers. Fly Girl World Travel LLC had 2 registered business addresses.
Light is on upstairs.
At one address in Washington Heights, a home with the lights on, but no answer. Earlier this year, the Secretary of State issued this letter. Her business had been terminated, but was eventually reinstated. The Illinois Attorney General's office says, quote, we are attempting to mediate consumer complaints we have received about this business. At another home in the back of the yard.
I'm looking for Letitia Douglas from Fly Girl World Travel. You know Letitia Douglas?
We were greeted by Letitia Douglas's mother.
Do you know her?
Yeah, she's my daughter.
Okay. So she is accused of stealing $180,000 from somebody. Can you have her call me? I've been trying to track her down, to be fair. Can you have her call me?
You can give me the number.
Sure. You got a cell phone? I'll give you my number to call.
I never received a call, so I tried calling Douglas.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
The service you're attempting to use has been restricted or is unavailable.
please contact customer care for assistance.
We made countless calls to every known number associated with Douglas and got nowhere. So we emailed too, still no response. Under her maiden name, Letitia Allen, a private court records database shows charges for theft, deception, and computer fraud in the early 2000s. But we were unable to recover information on the cases from the courts directly, likely due to the age of the cases. So we don't know how those cases were disposed of, although none of them appear to be active any longer.
I still find myself in shock sometimes.
What's painfully clear is a couple of hardworking city employees were left blindsided.
Sometimes you can never think it could be you until it actually happens.
And heartbroken.
So at this point, just turn yourself in. Turn yourself in, you know. It took a lot of people money, a lot of people are angry, including us.
We received this from the Illinois Secretary of State's office. Here's just some of what it says. Flygirl World Travel LLC is not in good standing with the Illinois Secretary of State as of July 1st, 2025 for missing its annual report. If not filed by January 1st, 2026, the business will be dissolved. It can regain good standing by filing the report and paying up the fees. Now, also, Flygirl received this as well. World Travel LLC received a legal notice from their lender, True Advanced Funding Incorporated. They haven't received payments on the company's business loan, and that means the lender has a right to take any business assets if they don't pay up. We do want to remind people, if you feel you have been a victim of this business, you can contact the Illinois Attorney General right on their website. They have a complaint file, and that's where you can file all of your complaints.
Coming up, a new documentary going behind the scenes of professional wrestling, a suburban zoo where you can pet a bison, and a veteran-owned wing joint being called the best in Chicago.
Everybody wants a spot, but there are only so many available.
I had been on the road for 10 years straight. After a while, the wheels fell off.
Is he okay? Somebody tell me if he's okay. We're all animals in the jungle. You just want to be the most exotic one.
That is a quote.
Right? Great quote.
Wow. A new Netflix documentary takes viewers behind the scenes of the WWE. Jake got a chance to speak with one of the wrestlers who hasn't just survived the ring, he survived his fare of Chicago winters.
I was thinking about what a behind the scenes of Good Day, and I just realized it would be me in the breaks eating a chicken wing. And be like, this is great.
I was thinking it was the moves that we saw there on him for eating the wings in front of us.
Yes, it was. You know what? But it's a good life if in commercial break you get to eat chicken wings. So here's the deal. The only thing wrestler CM Punk knows more than the inside of a wrestling ring is his beloved home city of Chicago. And the new Netflix series WWE Unreal, sort of a behind-the-scenes look at the work that goes into putting together one of the biggest spectacles on television. And I spoke with Punk about the impact that our city has had on him as a wrestler. And I brought up the time that he and I hosted an event together here in Chicago, and I got to see firsthand how he interacted with some of his younger fans. I'd love to know what's the biggest impact that our city has had, not just on like the wrestler that you've become, but also the man that you've become. And not to be like overly dramatic in my verbiage, but whenever you get into the ring, is there a part of our city that comes with you each time?
100%. It's just the people. It's the spirit of the entire city. You know, Chicago's the city that works. So when I put my boots on, I feel like I'm representing everybody from that city. Don't want to let anybody down. And win, lose, or draw, to me, it's about showing up and putting your best foot forward and really just working your ass off like everybody in Chicago does, whether they're a mailman or a garbage man or, you know, they're working in the Sears Tower, because it is still the Sears Tower.
It will always be this. And, you know, they tried to change the Hancock to like the address, and everyone, I love that it collectively as a city, we all went, yeah, we're not going to call it that.
It's the most Chicago thing ever. Yeah. Like, nah, we're good. All right. Sears Tower.
I emceed an event with you. You know, a couple of kids try to come up to you and say something to you.
And then I shoved the kids out of the way.
Exactly.
And I was like, get out of here.
Yeah. And again, as Sean Connery would say, it's the Chicago way.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant reference.
Of course, he is kidding. The kids came up, and security actually tried to stop the kids, and he said, no, let them through, let them through. WWE Unreal streaming now on Netflix.
Oh, and I know so many people are going to want to watch that.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, as someone who's not particularly a wrestling guy, yeah. I found it fascinating, just from an entertainment angle, what it takes to pull off something like that. Because at the end of the day, like, they are actors, and they are developing a character
yeah.
that has to connect and storyline. So it's not that different than the sort of stuff that I watch on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're on the road.
Exactly.
All the time.
Yeah. And they said it's all about you have to know how to improv, and it's really fascinating.
And I'd love to know about the injuries that we don't know
exactly.
about. You know, that they, like, how do they rehab while they are on the road and trying to get ready for the next one?
Bride and I just sat down in our chairs, and as we both sat down, we went, oh. And we didn't wrestle today.
Yeah, we're getting quite the behind-the-scenes look. First looking at the bison, Buffy and Dakota, of course, and then now we have some new friends to meet, too. And Mike, you are the crew leader here at Lords Park Zoo. Let's talk about who we're seeing next to you.
So right here we have Spike, and he's our male elk.
Oh, he's
and
beautiful.
He's eating at the moment, but he'll poke his head up and down
Yeah,
from
he's
time
have
to
to have
time.
lunch. We have to give him time, huh? And then some of the girls, too, are here.
Yeah, and then we have 4 females as well. 2 of them are in here, and the other 2 are outside right now eating.
Okay, for people who haven't been here to Lords Park, what can they experience?
So you can get pretty close to our bison, elk, and deer compared to a normal zoo. Especially the bison, you can get usually within 20, 30 feet of them a lot of times. But we also have farm animals that you can get up close and personal to as well.
What's even better is that you guys open this free to the public. How are you able to make that possible, though?
So yes, it's 100% free, and that's done by a volunteer group called Friends of the Zoo, and they do fundraising, and they help us pay for all the programs we offer, and even help us buy animals from time to time.
This is amazing. When people come here, are they just like taken back by seeing how close at least you get to our friends?
Yeah, so we do once a month we do a Meet the Bison tour where people get to come in like this, and they can touch Spike's antlers and get a good close look at them and get some pictures.
I pet him?
Yeah.
If you'll let me.
Yeah, right on his nose.
Hi, Spike. You're so sweet and handsome, too. You know, how much would it mean to you to see a ton of people come to Lords Park for the first time who maybe don't know about it here in Chicagoland?
It means a lot. This is my favorite part of my job is the zoo, and I love that we get to offer it free, and all the people that get to come and see and do stuff you don't get to do somewhere else. And it's just a great opportunity for everybody.
So where do a lot of these animals come from? Are they local? Are they coming from different parts of maybe the country?
So our big animals, the bison, elk, and deer, tend to be somewhat local, but Illinois
Look at her.
and the likes. But our farm animals are all from very local, ELgin and Hampshire, basically. And they just offer us their animals for the summer. We get to put them on display, and then they take them back at the end of the summer.
If people are wanting to come here, you guys are pretty much open year-round, right?
Yeah, you can see our bison, elk, and deer year-round. The path outside lets you walk around and see. And then June through August, we're open on the inside for the farm animals.
Okay, I'm going to throw a trick question here at you because I know that there's some events coming up. This weekend, you have someone showing frogs, and that's pretty, often you have people coming and showing some unique animals.
Yeah, about 4 to 5 times a week, we have different events going on inside our zoo, whether it's educational or music or art related. The library comes out and does story time, and that's all funded by the Friends of Lords Park Zoo and run through our museum.
How cool. Okay, we'll have more information about Lords Park Zoo on our website, fox32chicago.com. Never thought that I could say that I have pet an elk before. Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate your time.
Hey, Chicago has a rich history of boxing. This guy, Oscar De La Hoya, won 11 world titles. The Golden Boy came by our studios today to promote his boxing card Saturday in town. It features Chicago's very own Kenny Sims Jr., who grew up in Englewood.
This fight here is very important for Chicago boxing to bring back. Kenneth Sims winning this fight Saturday night. He's fighting a number 5 ranked in the world fighter, contender. So if he wins this, Sims automatically fights for a world title. Boxing trains these kids to handle adversity outside of the ring. That's why I love it so much. You know, you have these kids who are growing up wanting to be world champions, wanting to be the next De La Hoya, the next Mayweather, the next Pacquiao, the next George Foreman. But it also, at the same time, it's teaching them discipline. It's teaching them character. That's why I love it.
By the way, you can see our entire conversation, 14 minutes long. Great stuff if you're a boxing fan on the Fox 32 YouTube channel. The fights take place Saturday. By the way, prelims start at 4 o'clock, main card at 7. 8 fights total at UIC's Credit Union 1 Arena. Tomorrow afternoon, by the way, if you get nothing going, 1 o'clock, De La Hoya will have the weigh-in in front of the Picasso statue at the Daly Center.
One local veteran-owned chicken joint is going viral on social media for having some of the best wings in Chicago. He calls it Big Sauce. So since do you like how I did that there?
Absolutely, yeah.
Big Sauce. So since today's National Chicken Wing Day, we figured we'd try them out. We're joined by Peter Naughton. He is the owner. He is a Marine Corps veteran. We thank you for your service, and we thank you for serving chicken wings today. All right, so how did you get into the business of chicken wings, Peter?
Well, I mean, I grew up, we love chicken wings in our family. You know, chicken wings, obviously football too, and that kind of goes together.
Okay,
so
sure.
Every Sunday we were eating chicken wings from one place or another growing up. And then, you know, I just, as I got older and I wanted to, you know, start my own side entrepreneurship, you know, I loved wings. I never cooked food. And I sought out, you know, the best version of chicken wings in the country. And I went out to Buffalo, consulted with
What do they know about chicken wings?
Exactly. I learned a little bit about how to manage the protein, but I knew we were going to have the better sauces and the better techniques and the better customers here in Chicago to bring the best chicken wings, I believe, in the country.
So were you like experimenting? Let's put a little bit of this in here. Let's put that in the sauce.
Everything.
Ooh, I need a little bit less of that.
We sat for, these potatoes took about 4 months to develop.
To get your recipe?
The recipe and to put it on the line so you can sell it live.
Okay.
Streamlined, so it moves and it's not sitting there and you're, you know, doing everything else. That takes time. We took something very simple and we got very serious about the technique and the quality. And this is what we put out and the response has been very strong. So we keep everything simple, we take it serious, we do everything the same way every time to be consistent, and we put out a great product because of that.
A lot of your successes on social media, particularly TikTok, what do you credit that to?
You know, more of Instagram, it's a lot of great influencers, local influencers. You know, there's a lot of people that have helped us out. So many I can't even say, thank you very much. And they, you know, they didn't have to, they went out of their way, you know, giving them a 10 order wings isn't what these people make, you know, good money doing those videos. So a lot of people just liked what I did, you know, they respected what I did and they wanted to see me be successful. So Big Sauce, we're at bigsaucechicago.com, order through there. We are all virtual, sit down and delivery only. The future, you know, it's coming together.
I was going to say, are you going to, you know, have a little sit down restaurant?
Yeah, that's all comes together.
This has been your Fox 32 Week in Review. See you next time.